Englewood, located on the south side of Chicago, is home to over 30,000 people. 42.2% of households are under the poverty line, 21.3% of people are unemployed, and it has the third highest violent crime rate in Chicago. Yet, despite these numbers, residents of Englewood insist there is far more to their community than crime rates.
Everyone who comes here are typically scared. I mean, they just think that we're all kind of walking out of our homes dodging bullets, and that's just not the case. But I think if you was to follow the news and the journalists, you would think every single day that someone is dying in the Englewood community, and it's just absolutely not true.
Because of the perception of Englewood, residents are working hard to highlight the positive aspects of their community. Roderick Sawyer, Chicago's 6th Ward alderman, whose district includes parts of Englewood, has made it a focus.
I don't want them to use Englewood as a backdrop for crime. I put out a lot of stuff with the hashtag good in Englewood. You know, when things go, we don't talk about enough good that goes on in Englewood. We're always focusing on the crime and criminal activity and the violence that they say comes from Englewood. But there's a lot of good in Englewood.
One example residents discussed was the Peace Community Center, which was formed to provide a safe environment for Englewood youth.
As you can see, we're doing feeding today. We feed the hungry on Wednesdays and Fridays. The children can come here, they can do their homework on the various computers. We feed them a hot meal every day.
However, the good in Englewood is often at odds with the increased police presence. Residents say they are more likely to be stopped even if they are doing nothing wrong. Jawan Hall is no stranger to that.
Oh yeah, I got a million stories.
Hall, an Englewood resident and a veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps, said he was pulled over by the police while driving down 74th Street with another Marine.
I get pulled over. I pull over my vehicle. The police walk up to my vehicle. I roll the window down. They open the door with their hand on their pistol. They look in the vehicle and say, "Oh, it's okay, they're Marines," and just walk away. And so the first thing that with this encounter, I was just thinking so if had I not been in uniform, had I not been a Marine, would I get shot? Would I die this night?
Aisha Butler says the relationship between Englewood residents and the police has changed for the worse in her 20 years living there.
I remember, and I'm gonna tell you, go back to 67th at Aberdeen where I grew up. We knew the cops. The cops would come up on the porch. They were like, "Hey, how's things going?" They knew the criminals. They knew exactly who they were going for. Where now we're all considered criminals.
Despite the difficulties residents face with police, they continue their efforts to change the perception of their community.
Englewood is an area it really has a lot of potential. And, just when you think about crime itself, crime isn't something that just happens. People don't just go out and just commit crime because they want to commit crimes. There are things that drive crimes to be committed.
When I think about, for example, a school, you have A students and you have a couple of students who, you have F students, but then the majority are these C kind of average individuals. No one's paying attention to that bigger group, and I feel like all the attention is done to these people who are terrorizing the community, and they're leaving a lot of open space for this majority of the community to be influenced by them because of the attention.
And Englewood is not the murder capital. You got a lot of positive things that goes on in Englewood neighborhood, but they're not going to highlight it. As soon as they hear about a shooting, then that's when they want to come. You get all the media coming in, and then they want to make it something very big and negative, which is really not. And I have a problem with that.
Daryl Smith has had reporters ask him to show them the violent Englewood they hear of, yet that's not the Englewood he knows.
But I can take you where there's some kids playing basketball. I can take you where there's a class going on, a training, or I can take you where someone's feeding the homeless. But as far as me taking you somewhere where you can see someone getting stabbed or you can see a drug activity going on, it's happening, but is it happening as much as the media is, portraying it to happen? So I would like to just erase that stigma of what Englewood is. And